Hello, beautiful people. This is Phoenix, and my presentation is called Set Free Your Creative Self. Now, what is creativity? Creativity is the state or quality of being creative, or the ability to transcend traditional ideas, rules, patterns, relationships, or the like, and to create meaningful new ideas, forms, methods, interpretations, etc. Originality, progressiveness, or imagination. And that's from dictionary.com. So the summit is called Claiming the Arts for Christ. But creativity is more than just what we would think of arts. It's not just painting, drama, that kind of thing. It can be problem solving, entrepreneurship, so many different things. So, about me. Hi, I'm Phoenix Grace, like I said. Creating is my superpower. Now, I haven't always known that I was a creative person. I mean, yes, when I was little, I would walk around the house, singing songs. I created poems, but I discounted that because I thought of being creative as being able to draw or being able to paint or being able to sing or play a musical instrument. Now, those things are creative, but it's beyond that. And I didn't know, like I said, I couldn't draw a straight line. That was quite sad. I always had these ideas in my head, but I didn't know how to bring them out into the world. So then I've tried different things. I did drama. Never really found my thing. And then I started my business, Life in Bloom, which is to help empower women to be who they're created to be and live life in full bloom, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And as part of that, I started a Zazzle store. Now, Zazzle is a print-on-demand company where you can create designs that are put on so many different gifts. And I started doing that because I wanted to reach Christian women. I didn't know how to reach them. And this opportunity came onto my path, and I took it. And I started using Canva and other programs, and all the graphics that you're seeing here, I created with that. So I found something that I really, really enjoy. That's my favorite part of designing products. So now I design print on demand, things like t-shirts and gifts like that. I have printables. The programs I'm developing all the designs for. So that is one example of creativity. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're also using your creativity. So that's me. Now, why is it important? Like, where did creativity come from? Well, Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth." So we serve a creative God. And Psalm 8:3, chapter 8, verse 3 in the Passion Translation says, now listen to the words that are used in this translation. "Look at the splendor of your skies, your creative genius glowing in the heavens. When I gaze at your moon and your stars, mounted like jewels in their settings, I know you are the fascinating artist who fashioned it all." That's Psalm chapter 8, verse 3 in the Passion Translation. And here's the example. A bird, beautiful bird. that God created, the colors. So it's not just visual. God created things that engage all of our senses, right? So our sense of sight, our sense of hearing, our sense of touch, our sense of smell, our touch of our sense of taste. And then here's some more images to look at. Beautiful sky. I took this picture one morning when my mom and I were walking my son to school. We go for a walk after. We enjoy God's creation, and this is what the sky looked like. In this picture, I actually took that picture in the Amazon rainforest when I went, my mom and I went for a trip there, and I just had a digital camera and I just pointed up at the sky and clicked. But I thought that one was really nice. I call that one growing into the light. These next images I did not take a picture of. I found them on stock photo sites. But here's another one to show God's creation. Another one. Beautiful colors. And here is a wildflower meadow in bloom. Now, so where do we fit in as humans? Well, life began in the garden with Adam and Eve. And as humans, we are God's masterpiece. So the ultimate of God's creation, He created us in His own image. Ephesians 2:10 in the Passion Translation says, "We have become His poetry, a recreated people that will fulfill the destiny He has given each of us. For we are joined to Jesus, the Anointed One. Even before we were born, God planned in advance our destiny and the good works we would do to fulfill it." Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. Yes, we're created with a purpose. Our purpose is to celebrate and glorify God and be His image bearers and reconcile other people to God. And being creative and using our creative gifts can help with that. So this is important. I love this. Before children speak, they sing. Before they write, they paint. As soon as they stand, they dance. Art is the basis of human expression. So if we're meant to bring the gospel, the good news, to all people, the Great Commission, the ministry of reconciliation, if art is the basis of human expression, we can use that to share the good news. And we were created in God's image. And God created the world. God created us. So we are creative beings. Now, some people will say, "Oh, well, yeah, well, you can make these pictures and you can do this, but I don't have any creativity in me." Well, like I said, everybody's creative. It says art is the basis of human expression. We're to come like children to God. So I would suggest that you do have creativity. You're attending the summit, you're attracted to creativity. If you're an entrepreneur, you're creative. If you're a human being, you are creative. So what are the obstacles to creativity? Well, creativity is a gift. Unfortunately, few of us use it to the best of our ability. Humans are creative by nature, created by a creative God to fulfill His purpose. You are creative, even if you haven't experienced it yet. One of the biggest obstacles to creativity is the belief that you're not creative. You are creative. Even if you haven't experienced it yet, I'll repeat that. Creativity is a very personal process. Anything produced by your creativity almost feels like it was born from you. It's common to be nervous when sharing something so personal. So you can enhance your creativity by avoiding these common obstacles. Number 1, distractions. So if you want to focus on just one tip, this is the one. There are 2 ways to deal with distractions. You eliminate them, or you improve your ability to focus despite them. It's best to use a 2-pronged approach. Eliminate them and improve them. So get rid of distractions. Number 2 obstacle to creativity is lack of purpose. So you want to be clear on what you're attempting to create. Have a clear vision and a purpose. Be targeted in your approach. Number 3 is lack of practice. Just like anything, you get better at being creative through practice. You can't expect to be highly creative if you haven't created anything in the last 5 years. Stretch your creative muscles on a regular basis. So that can be even something as simple as trying a different route on the way to work. Trying a different type of food. Anything. Practice it. It's a skill that you have to grow through practice, through watering. The seed you plant, you have to water it, right? So 4 is negative self-talk. This leads to a fear of failure and procrastination. When you doubt yourself, your creativity is compromised. Replace your negative self-talk with something more positive. You can also ignore the negative things you say to yourself and press on. So the opposite of that is positive self-talk. That's where repeating identity versus things are true about you for God. So you can say, I am God's masterpiece. I am God's masterpiece. I am created for a purpose. I am an image bearer of God. So, number 5 is lack of sleep or nutrition. Some people, when they're a little bit tired or have an empty stomach, they might have their creativity enhanced. But most cases, the opposite is true. Get enough sleep and eat properly if you want your creativity at full power. So, to remedy that, you would get adequate sleep and proper nutrition. And I can help you with that too. 6, obstacle, the need to be perfect. Creating is ugly. Most ideas don't work and aren't even remotely useful. That's okay. The first draft of anything is usually not the best. Whether you're writing a novel, painting a picture, developing a business strategy. The need to be perfect is an excuse to procrastinate. You can look at perfecting your idea in the future. Now is not the time. So progress, not perfection. That's what you need to focus on. Progress, not perfection. The 7th obstacle is expecting creation to be easy. Now, it'd be nice if we all had the easy button that we can push and make life easy. We're not promised that as children of God, as followers of Christ. And we're not promised that when we create either. So if you can consistently create something valuable, you can count yourself among the richest people in the world. Creation is hard work, and there can be a lot of failure along the way. So trial and error and practice. Expect the process to be challenging, and you'll rarely be disappointed. Embrace the challenge and push yourself. Get outside your comfort zone and get into your creation zone. Number 8 obstacle. The 8th obstacle is being too practical. The best ideas often require outside the box thinking. Avoid being too practical at the beginning of the creative process. Dare to be outrageous and consider a few offbeat ideas. The most creative people in history were ridiculed and considered crackpots. Like Albert Einstein, he was a scientist, but he was creative. He actually had dreams about what he was to create. I think he had God ideas, downloads actually. But look at him. Like, you look at him, he looks like someone might think he's a crazy crackpot, right? Like with his hair and everything like that. But he was a brilliant man and very creative, and I think he lived out his purpose in life. So to repeat a little summary, the 9 biggest obstacles to creativity. Number 1, distractions. 2, a lack of purpose. 3, a lack of practice. 4, negative self-talk. 5, a lack of sleep or nutrition. 6, the need to be perfect. 7, expecting creation to be easy. 8, being too practical. And 9, doubting your ability to be creative. So I will close with some ideas here. Remember, creative people need time to sit around and do nothing. Progress, not perfection. Don't beat yourself up. You need time to incubate the ideas. Here's a good affirmation for you, a good thought. Now say it to yourself. I have the power and freedom to create. I have the power and freedom to create. We're empowered as believers in Christ, and He has given us free will and freedom and creativity and all those things to use. To whomever needs to hear this, your art matters. Please don't stop creating. Your voice matters. Be bold. Life is a blank canvas. Make a mark. Life is full of color. Create a beautiful masterpiece. Now, I will be having a coaching room, and I will have some exercises to help you find your creative zone, your zone of genius. Remember, everyone is creative, including you. You matter. Your voice matters. You're a masterpiece created by God. Keep living in Him. Bye for now.